Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Never give up in life. Never give up. Never give up. Reportedly, the famous British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once gave that speech, something very similar. He was at a commencement ceremony and he got to the podium, and he said, "Never ever give up." Something like that, and then sat back down. But that's the true thing, because one of the saddest things is to see people, quite frankly, going through a slow death because they've simply given up. Now, they don't die right then, but they might take drugs, they'll be super depressed, they're just going down in life because they've given up. I'm gonna tell you what, I've talked about before the power of optimism. I've talked about the power of optimism. And the thing is, you gotta be optimistic. And I'm gonna hammer that message in. I've seen too many people give up. You have to keep going no matter what. Because I've seen the people, I've experienced it personally, but I always talk about myself. I'm gonna say, I've met so many people, they've gone through some bad thing, or they went through some bad times, but they never gave up. They kept going. It might have been a bad financial situation. All of a sudden they get that job that's making a lot of money. I've known quite a few people just now. They might even see this video. Hey, y'all inspired it. They just kept going no matter what. Things weren't looking good, It could have been in relationships. There's been plenty of people, they stayed positive. I know one young lady, she was just having a string of bad relationships, but now she's happy because she kept going. And she's really gone through a lot of stuff. I've told her, I admire her. She's went through some serious things in her life, but now she's happy. She never gave up no matter what. You gotta be that way. It's gonna seem tough. It's going to seem very tough. It is tough, but you just keep going. As long as you can wake up every day. If your eyes open, you can do it. If you can think, you can do it. Like I said before, the sun always rises. The sun always rises. You got to keep going with it. You got to keep going. Never give up. This is your life. This is your existence. Because it really is sad when I see people, they've given up. You see them. You might see them on the streets. They could be in your family. And they just like, this is it. And they just dying slowly, slowly. You can see it in how they speak, how they move, everything, even in their physical form. But then haven't we seen those people, no matter what's happening, they got a smile on their face. They're going through some things. Those are the people we need to be emulating, And I've met some people, and I've said before, I've been through some things in my life, but it's nothing compared to what some other people have gone through. And they just keep going. They just kept going. And some people going through some stuff now, but I want y'all to think about something. How many people are going through something now, but things are better than it was the day before? It hasn't gotten worse. Because no matter what, you thinking, I'm going to get through this. Now, let me be clear. There's some people who don't feel that way. Let's just be real. They'll say, you should just give up. Oh, life isn't worth it. All of that. Unless those people are in your household, they're a close family member, you might need to shy away from those people. Try to help them as best as possible, but there's a point where you just say, you know what? I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can do. You can still love them and everything, still try to be supportive, but sometimes the people are just not going to really do what they need to do. And it's saddening. You can still be offered to be there for them when they decide that they want to not give up. You can still try to be there, but sometimes you don't want, here's the thing, you don't want them to bring you down. You don't want them to affect your mood, because they can. A lot of people, they hear it, they just hear it, and it brings them down. And you don't want that. Sometimes you gotta love people from afar because it's not positive for you. Because you understand something about life. Understand something perfectly about life. It is meant to be a challenge. All of us have our demons we're going to have to fight. All of us have our challenges, but that's part of how we grow. That's part of how we learn. And you'll find once you have learned the lesson that's presented by the challenge, everything will fall into place. Everything. And I don't care what your spiritual path is, what your philosophical path is, your ethical path is. Once you get past that moment, once you get past the darkness, you will rise. In fact, that's like that's the thing with writers. Like if you look at like these great stories, these great movies, the hero always goes to a dark point, always. I mean, and it's actually a writing device for the writers out there, the hero's journey. The hero always goes to a dark place no matter what. I mean, even in spiritual systems. Even in spiritual systems, you'll see it. The main figure will go to that cave, go in the desert, something, but then they emerge because they didn't give up. You got to be that. You got to be that man, woman, child who just doesn't give up. Just keep going no matter what. It's very, very important. Like I can't emphasize it enough. Like I said, there's been some times I could have easily given up. Been plenty of times. And in fact, I remember it was in my 20s going through some stuff. And I said, I was actually thinking, I actually said that about myself. I said, you know what? I don't know how to quit. I don't know how to quit. I just didn't know how. And everybody got to be that way. As long as you're living, you have a chance. As long as you are living, the sun will always rise. But you got to believe that. And just don't give up. And I'm going to tell you what, even in the path to growing, to getting out of a bad situation, to becoming better, you're still growing. And that's the main thing about life. That's the main thing about being in this classroom we call life, in this school we call Earth. So never give up. Never, ever give up. Never give up in life. If you're breathing, you have a chance to better your situation, better your circumstances. You have a chance. Never give up. All right? So I want y'all to really think about that. And for those who are going through something now, and most of us going through something here or there, something, it could be small, never give up. All right? The sun will always rise. So that's all I have for right now. Really meditate, pray, whatever you do. Really think on what I just said. All right? Never give up. Keep rising, everyone. Peace and blessings.